because there's really important stuff happening in the Capitol building a couple of blocks from here. Senator Sherrod Brown on the line with us, brown.senate.gov, his website. Senator, welcome back.
Good to be back.
Thank you.
I like how when I call in a little early and I hear your show, and the discussion is always really substantive, and I don't say that about every show, so thank you.
Well, thank you for your kind words. We've been really struggling with all the various dimensions of this issue for 2.5 hours here. It's been a fascinating conversation. You guys are struggling now with or tell me if you're not, it seems to me the fact that the Republicans in the House of Representatives changed the rules by which that body works so that it's going to make it very, very difficult to expand or help or even maintain Social Security. It's only going to make it easy to cut it. Do I have that right?
Yeah, a couple of things. First, yes, you have that right. Second, the Republicans never really liked social insurance. I mean, it's their philosophy, and I'm fine with that. That's their philosophy. I don't think it makes them immoral. I think it just makes them wrong. But they've never really liked Medicare. They've never really liked Social Security. They've really never liked unemployment insurance. Social insurance, you pay money in, and when you need it, you get assistance from the government. If you kind of look at history, you see, as you do so well in this show, you see that on the key votes in the creation of most of those programs, Republicans generally, in large numbers, and that's before the party was conservative as it is now, said no to that. So their lesson is they know they can't directly go after privatization of Social Security. They tried that with President Bush. They got burned. They knew it didn't work politically. So they're now going after disability insurance, by enacting sort of an obscure House rule, to do it. And when you think about that, Social Security, they won't go after directly Social Security because that's people's parents and grandparents. But they'll go after disability because that's a bunch of working stiffs that are trying to game the system. I mean, that's how they
in their mind. Yeah.
In their minds.
I would add to that, they go after the unemployed. They go after poor people because, by and large, the unemployed and poor people don't have the means to be seriously politically active.
Right.
And the same is true, I would guess, of disabled people.
I think that's right. And even among them, I mean, someone just told me a story that their daughter is profoundly disabled, and this is a friend of theirs. They're talking about a friend of theirs, and their daughter gets government help for disability, but she looks down on other people to get it because they're not worthy like her daughter. I mean, so even within people that are on disability, they just believe that it's people are of two minds. I mean, the Republicans have too effectively, and we've got to fight back better, demonized people that don't have much privilege, people that are down and out for whatever reason, whether it's a disability, whether it's laid off, whether it's they're old and poor and they have low wage jobs. I mean, and that's what this fight's going to be. But for us, it's a direct attack on Social Security. It's a direct attack on benefits for Social Security, and we're going to sell to the public that way. And we're going to force the issue as they continue to go after these social insurance programs. They try to voucherize Medicare. They want to privatize as much of Social Security as they can get away with. Any one of those issues.
Yeah. To what extent are the Senate rules being changed by Mitch McConnell to comport with these new House rules? And is the solution to this legislative, or is it changing the rules again?
The solution is we need to do something legislative. In a nutshell, the Social Security, there are primarily two funds in Social Security. There's the retirement fund that people are the most familiar with. Then there's a disability fund. When one tends to run short over time, and it can go either way. The Congress passes a bill and they move the money within the system. We don't lower benefits or raise payments. We just move the money. This was last moved a number of years ago, and it was predicted that in 2016 we'd need to do it again to make an adjustment. Congress has done it 11 times, I believe, over the last 60 years, something like that. It made that adjustment. It's always nonpartisan, just like minimum wage has been bipartisan, just like a transportation bill is bipartisan. But these guys don't want to do that, so they want to force the issue of cuts in Social Security. And we're going to highlight what they're trying to do by this little sleight of hand changing the rules. I don't think they'll try to. I don't know if they'll try to change the rules in the Senate. They're going to need likely 60 votes to make that rule change. And if they try to do it with fewer, I think they're going to pay a price.
Yeah. So a rule change in the Senate can be subject to a filibuster?
Not clear.
Yeah.
We did it with 50 votes on the on confirmations.
Yeah, you're right.
We can't do it legislatively. I'm not clear on that. I don't know if the parliamentarian's clear or not on that. I don't think there's been a ruling specifically on this, but we will watch.
But this is, I mean, even if it's just done in the House, all spending legislation has to originate in the House. It's still creating the zeitgeist, the frame, the times within which they're going to. When do you expect the Republicans to actually now act on trying to start dialing back Social Security disability insurance?
Well, I think they will. In some sense, they don't have to act, because when the money runs out on the disability, which it will, and they're going to say it ran out because of abuses, and they're going to point out that a lot more people are on disability now. But the reason for that is when somebody's is eligible for disability, they keep working just because they want to, and they make a little more money. But then when they lose their jobs, they're going to file for disability then.
Sure.
Even though they'd rather work. And the Republicans chalk that up to people gaming the system and being lazy. I don't, and I'm sure you don't. So
what they're going to do is they're just going to say, sorry, there's no more money, no more checks get cut.
If you want to restore these benefits to them, you're going to have to cut something else. Or they could say, under the House rules, you're going to increase taxes to do that, but they won't do that.
Right.
So
amazing stuff.
That's the conundrum we face. But that comes of its own accord because of the depletion of that part of the fund. And to fix it, they said we could just move money over. They won't do that, apparently.
Amazing. Senator Sherrod Brown, you're doing God's work, sir. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks to you, too. Thanks.
Brown.senate.gov is the website. And thanks so much for being with us today.